What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp. I will get to your comments and super chats here in short order. But before I get to today's video, I'd like to ask the chat a question. I actually put this in the chat. I'd like to ask the chat a question. When's the last time you approached a woman in public and what happened? That's my question to the chat. I'll read all the best answers. But I want to know, when is the last time, as I turn on the fan here, I want to know when's the last time you guys, one of you, all of you, whatever, when's the last time you approached a woman in public and tell me what happened? Put your answers in the chat and I will read those after the super chat. So I came across a video and of course it piqued my interest because it is another Gen Z woman who is complaining about men. And the title of the video is Dating Now. It's Dating Now is so different, blah, 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 blah. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it here. Sorry about that.
When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore or don't care to put in effort.
Gee, I wonder why.
A relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit.
Wrong.
For it to work in the long
Wrong.
run. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you. And when did that shift?
Leaps and
because
bounds.
Back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first. How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance. My mom was like, get out of here. She wanted nothing to do with them. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gone married. They would have never had kids.
Oh, is that right?
But he was persistent. He wanted to take her out on a date so badly. He was like, what do I have to do to take you out on a date? She was working late their first date, so he went to her work, picked her up, prepped a dinner, took her to a park.
Oh my God.
Just planned the whole thing. He wrote her poetry.
Yeah.
How my aunt and my uncle
Yearning.
met. My aunt was a dancer on a cruise ship, and he was the photographer.
A dancer?
And he was persistent. She overheard him one night saying to his buddy, he was like, I'm going to marry that girl.
Oh, did she now?
And now they're married, and they have 2 kids together.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything like that now. Now we're praising eye contact. Now we're praising if a guy held a door open to us and smiled.
Yep.
That is what we're praising. It feels so backwards. I just wonder when it shifted. Because I feel like that is the whole downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone now. Because men just don't care anymore.
Gee, all right. So now I'm going to play this back. And I am going to respond to this. So here we go.
Happened to men pursuing girls. When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to.
So she wants to know, why don't men put effort into pursuing women anymore? Well, that's easy. The answer to that is easy. Men stop pursuing women and putting in effort because this is what women have told us that they wanted for the last 2+ decades. And this is a 2-pronged issue she's talking about here. Let's start with the pursuit prong. These days, gentlemen, it is damn near illegal to walk up to a girl you don't know and strike up a conversation with her in order to get to know her better and possibly pursue something romantically. Here in 2025, women routinely embarrass men in public by getting an attitude and making a scene. Then we're told that if we talk to girls in public, we're harassing them. And some even broaden the definition and extend it to SA, SEXUAL, assault. Sexual assault for talking to a girl? And do not get it twisted, gentlemen. Don't get it twisted. This is absolutely happening. Men are getting detained. They're getting fined, sometimes even arrested for catcalling women. This happens in the UK on a regular basis. And I would not be surprised if it started happening here in the US if it hasn't already. You guys remember that Gillette toxic masculinity commercial? You guys can go and look that up, but there's a scene where the guy sees a girl walk by and he wants to approach her, and he starts to walk to approach her, and his homeboy steps in and stops him from doing it. Yeah, gentlemen, even men's brands are telling us not to pursue women. I find it very confusing that girls are confused as to why men don't ask them out anymore. And one of the main reasons is Tinder and other dating apps. Guys, listen, Tinder, Bumble, and all the rest of these apps are simply the digital manifestation of what women have said that they've wanted for years. Women don't want men to approach them in public. Women don't want to make an effort to look feminine and presentable. And women don't want to publicly display their interest in men. And so dating apps were created to satisfy these objectives. And surprise, surprise, women are complaining about getting exactly what they've asked for. Why on God's green earth would men risk embarrassment, humiliation, and even possible criminal prosecution just for trying to strike up a conversation with a girl he wants to get to know romantically? Well, the answer is that he's not. Men are problem solvers, okay? We are solutions oriented. So in order to bypass all of the nonsense that comes with pursuing women in public, they just approach girls on dating apps to avoid the embarrassment, the humiliation, and possible legal ramifications. Ladies, you asked for this. You asked for this and you got it. You made your bed and now you have to lay it. Now let's talk about the effort angle that Blondie is complaining about here, okay? This reminds me of an article that I talked about years ago entitled, "Dear Men, This is Why Single Women Are Sick of You." It was written by an older woman, which should come as no surprise because there was one part of the article when she said she wanted men to put effort into dating her, much the same way this chick is doing here. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. When men make an effort, women pull back. Now, it wasn't always like this, guys. Okay, it wasn't always like this. Back in the day, women used to actually, dare I say, reciprocate a man's effort. If she saw that he was making an effort to pursue her and making an effort to let her know that he genuinely likes her, she used to do the same in return. This is how relationships were formed. But because of feminism, the hashtag Me Too movement, dating apps, Instagram, and all the rest of that, women are always entertaining a bunch of guys at the same time. Women are always entertaining more than one guy. Never ever, when you first start talking to a woman, romantically, if you're sleeping together, whatever the case may be, MLD says this all the time. Just imagine her gobbling a bunch of you-know-whats. Understand that when you first start seeing a woman, you are almost never the only guy she's seeing or sleeping with. And because women have had their software reprogrammed to reward douchebag behavior, they pay the most attention to the guy who's putting in the least effort. So again, men being problem solvers, we observe this happening to us and other people on the regular, and we figured out that the less effort we put into pursuing and dating a woman, the more effort she puts in. And let's be clear. I want to be crystal clear here. It should not be like this. It absolutely should not be like this. But I teach men to deal with women the way they are, not the way they should be. This is the problem, incidentally enough, that a lot of Christian men and the advice that they give have. Christian men and their pastors are out here teaching men to deal with the women of yesteryear. And it's clearly not working because the women of today are not the women of the past. So when women like this complain about men not pursuing and the lack of effort they put in, I say to that, too bad. We are giving you women exactly what you asked for. Let's continue.
Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore or don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more.
Oh, no. Whoa. Nope. No way. Guys, this is 917% false. Not even close. Not even close. Let me tell you guys exactly what happens when a girl knows that you like her more than she likes you. And listen up here, because I'm about to drop some serious game here, and I know that each and every one of us has been through this more than once. When a woman knows that you like her even a little bit more than she likes you, a funny thing starts to happen. All of a sudden, she doesn't call or text as often. All of a sudden, she becomes more entitled. She's more short-tempered. She's disrespectful. Now, before she knew he liked her more than she liked him, she wanted to spend time with him. She wanted to make him happy. She wanted to make sure that he knew that she was his and only his. But after she figures out that he likes her more than she likes him, all of a sudden, now she wants to go to the club with her friends instead of staying in with him and maybe watching a movie. Instead of doing her best to make sure that he knew that she was his and nobody else's, now she wants to play these mind games. Now she wants to make him wonder whether or not he's the only guy she's sleeping with, or whether or not he's in a rotation of men, or whether or not she even wants to continue seeing him. You see, ladies, when we show you that we like you and make an effort to show you that, you do a complete 180. You guys stop doing the little things that made us like you in the first place. But when we act like we could do with or without you, that's when you put your best foot forward. Guys, this is why I teach my guys. This is why I teach you guys, rather, to never show her that you like her more than she likes you. Now, here's the thing. You may actually like her more than she likes you. But if you show it, gentlemen, she's going to punish you every single time. It sucks that men have to be this way, but that's how this is. That's how this is. I tell guys all the time, I hated to have to become an asshole to get good with women, but it was necessary. I think it is an absolute travesty that we as men have to consciously go against our instincts to show a woman we really like her in order to get her time, effort, and respect. This is not a male problem, gentlemen. This is a woman problem. The reason why women like this want us to like them more is so that they can have leverage. They want to have the advantage over you, right? Knowing you like her gives her power. It gives her options. They know that they can toy with you. They know they can stay out of pocket. And they know they can act up because they know you're not going anywhere because she knows you like her more than she likes you. Modern women, in case you haven't been paying attention, they've been teaching us how to treat them for ages. And now that we're doing what works, they have a problem with it. So ladies, you're going to have to resolve yourself to this immutable truth. Until you start reciprocating our feelings and actions, we are going to continue to not like you as much as you like us, or at least give you that impression. Again, this is on women, not on men. Let's continue.
For it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you.
Oh, leaps
when
and
did
bounds.
that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you. He had to get your number. He had to go through lengths to try to talk to you.
He had to go through lengths to talk to you. What she is describing now, gentlemen, is the concept of hoflation. Hoflation is what today's men are experiencing with modern women. Okay? And for those of you who don't understand what hoflation is basically this. These days, we have to work 20 times harder than our grandfathers worked for women who are 20 times worse than our grandmothers. We got to put in more effort for lower quality women. Back in the day, they didn't have to put in as much effort for higher quality women. Back then, our grandfathers had to put in a lot less effort to impress women who had a lot more value. But dudes ain't going to great lengths anymore to talk to girls because girls simply aren't worth it anymore. And men are starting to realize this, guys. Men are starting to figure out that putting in the kind of effort necessary to impress low-quality girls is a bad investment of their time, energy, and effort.
Even if you weren't interested at first. How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance. My mom was like, "Get out of here." She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gone married. They would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her out on a date so badly.
I see.
He was like, "What do I have to do to take you out on a date?" She was working late their first date, so he went to her work, picked her up.
Oh my God.
Prepped a dinner, took her to a park. Just planned the whole thing.
Oh my
He
God.
wrote her poetry. He
Oh,
was yearning.
good
How my aunt
God.
and my uncle met. my aunt was a dancer on a cruise ship, and he was the photographer.
What kind of dancer?
And he was persistent. She overheard him one night.
Ah,
saying,
persistent.
He was like, I'm going to marry that girl. He had just met her. And now they're married, and they have 2 kids together. I don't hear anything like that now.
Yeah, of course you don't hear anything like that now. Women today are not the women of yesterday. See, this is another problem, guys. This is another problem. Women expect traditional behavior from men while not being traditional themselves. They want us to go old school while they can stay progressive. Okay? She talks about how her dad went through all of this rejection and put in all this effort to take her mother out on a date. She says that when her dad asked her mom to dance at the bar, she said, "Get out of here." Guys, no, that's cap.
Stop the cap.
That is not what she said. Because if she did tell him to get out of here, what would he have done? He would have just left. Why? Because that's what she told him to do. If you go up to a woman and say, "Hey, you want to dance?" and she says, "Get out of here," why are you going to continue pursuing her? She's trying to conflate modern women to women back in the day. No, she would have told the guy to get the F out of here if a man approached her to dance. But I can guarantee you that back in the day, her mother probably politely rejected him to gauge how interested he really was in her. Guys, this is how things were done back then. Okay? Girls used to be coy and play the real version of hard to get. They'd reject a guy initially, but during the rejection, they would drop breadcrumbs. They would drop breadcrumbs that indicated they wanted the guy to continue to pursue them. This is what happened with her parents. Men aren't stupid. Okay? We're not going to continue to pursue a woman if we don't think she wants to be pursued. So the fact that they got married tells me that she didn't say, "Get out of here." Then, of course, she talks about how her father jumped through all of these hoops just to take her out. He planned the date, came to her job, took her to the park, and all the rest of that. Again, her mother allowed herself to be pursued by her father because she liked him. Modern women don't understand this concept. All they know is that if they're not immediately sexually attracted to the guy, they want nothing to do with him. And they make that very clear very quickly. She also said her father wrote her mother poetry. Oh my God. If you write a girl poetry these days,
You stupid.
absolutely stupid. If a man wrote a woman a poem today, she would literally laugh her ass off and then block him. Writing a woman poetry today is equivalent to bringing her flowers on the first date. It is a turnoff. When Devin and I were watching this, when we were watching this video and she talked about poetry, Devin said that poetry only works in high school. And she's 100% correct. Again, because women ain't the same as they used to be. You want to know why poetry worked in high school? Because girls weren't as experienced, right? Girls in high school don't have that been there, done that. By the time a girl is 28, she's had poetry, she's had poems written about her. She's been serenaded. She's probably dated a couple of guys who played guitar and sang to her. She's probably had more flowers than a garden. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Poetry only works in high school because high school girls aren't as tainted. And I'm going to tell you something else too. It's probably trending in the wrong direction. I would not be surprised if a sophomore in high school got flowers from a guy and said, been there, done that. This is how messed up modern women have become. And then finally, she talks about how her father and her uncle were persistent. Gentlemen, modern women see persistence as creepy. If a modern woman were to reject a guy, but he was persistent, she'd call him creepy, she'd call him a stalker, and she'd accuse him of harassing her. This is why men aren't persistent anymore, Blondie. Persistent men get labeled as creeps, they get labeled as stalkers. So guess what? They're not persistent anymore. Again, this is the fault of the modern woman. Listen, you guys created this mindset, so you have no one to blame but yourselves.
Now we're praising eye contact. Now we're praising if a guy held a door open to us and smiled. That is what we're praising.
Hey.
It feels so backwards. I just wonder when it shifted. Because I feel like that is the whole downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone now. Because men just don't care anymore.
Yeah, right. No, we don't. We don't care anymore. Okay? Men cannot afford to pursue women, and men cannot afford to put in effort. Like I said before, women have routinely showed us that they will punish us for caring. They will punish us for pursuing, and they will punish us for putting effort into dating them. So why in the world would we continue to do what's not working? Nope, We watched, we observed, and we experienced those things, okay? We adjusted, and it's working. We adjusted, and it's working. And as law number 35 of the 49 laws of Sharp states, women cannot stand it when men play the game better than they do. All right, let me read you guys' chats before I finish this bad boy up here. All right, Diabolical Man is the first to break the tape. Shout out to Kevin Edwards. Says he was looking forward to the game. Appreciate that very, very much. Jabari Hinson says, let me know when it's ready, guys. I don't want to miss this, but I also like to bathe in feminist tears. Absolutely. Give you a Mario coin for that. Jabari Hinson says, also, Don, can we bring back police video breakdowns? I really miss the Hard R podcast. The answer is yes. There will be a Hard R podcast today at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, at 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern. 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. We will be doing the Hard R podcast this afternoon / evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Don't miss it. We're going to get into all those police videos. Yes, we are going to play Hard R police video bingo. Hard R police video bingo. Love that shit. Absolutely love playing Hard R police video bingo. Love that stuff, man. Love that. Love that. So yes, absolutely. We are absolutely going to bring back the Hard R podcast. Kyle 2020 says, unless middle school counted, no. So let me go to wait a minute. Hang on a second. It says go to the channel. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So I asked you guys earlier, when's the last time you approached a woman in public and how did it go? Dr. B84 says, does a nurse count? Maybe I said too much. Maybe. Kyle 2020 says, unless middle school counts, no. Never. Molten Mage Gaming says, the irony of her saying all this, they would say this same guy is a stalker and be like, why do men harass us? Exactly. Pursue us. Be persistent. Oh my God, he's a stalker. Brandon M says she looks like a randomly generated Sims character. That's funny. John says, you are not your mom. And also, is their relationship actually something to strive for? I would need to see that first. Very good observation. Doctor Who Design with the €5 super chat. Appreciate that very much. Dr. B84 says, they can think that Me Too BS. Absolutely. Ramiro says, I guarantee you she had guys wanting to that she rejected. Of course. Pro Special says, courted working on her mom, but there is a 0% chance it works on her. Absolutely. Smooth NY says, Gen Z is fried. Us millennials are the very last ones with sense. Most of us. Michael Gillespie says, I don't mess with them anymore like that. They are batshit crazy. D Amazing, welcome to Chat Privileges. At D-Mazing, at D-Mazing, to welcome him to the TSR family, as is customary of all first-time members. Let us all put our age and location in the chat. Let's do a chat-wide age and location check. You never know. Someone who is watching this could live in your city. They could live in your neighborhood. They could live on your block. They could live on your street. They could live in your building. This is how communities of like-minded men are formed. Kyle 2020 with the $2 super chat says, John Carpenter needs to make Escape for UK. Man, dude, the UK is bad. It is bad over in the UK, man. It is bad in the UK. Holy moly. Michael Gillespie says TikTok is filled with women saying men don't chase anymore. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Blue says, hey, Donovan, this popped up on my feed today too. Okay. They're starting to push us up in the algorithm, guys. They're starting to push us up in the algorithm. Molten Mage Gaming says the funny part is that when you play the same game on them, they are extremely upset. That's right. Missing Link says, don't forget. They said they didn't need men. Don't forget about the ghosting and flaking behavior. Privilege is invisible to those who have it. Myron Gaines. Pro Special says, yeah, but MLD also says that some crazy stories / incidents should not stop us from approaching. That I agree with. No, I agree. No, MLD is right. When you start dating a girl, just you got to understand. Just imagine her with a bunch of dicks in her mouth. That's just how it works. You're just gonna have to resolve that. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't still approach. You should still approach women, but you gotta have game. Kevin Edwards says, I say don't show that you like her. Robert Green says, show your feelings. It's a law. Okay. John says, all this is control. They like to say they hate guys that are in control, but then say that this BS that is literally the same, but at the end, they don't even want it. Right, dude, women know women love to have what they want. They just don't know what they need. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let me get to the super chats here. Dr. B84 with the $10 super chat says, Hoflation changed up the game completely. The stock price of Coochie is way low now. When they give it up easily, they can't increase the Coochie price later in life. Absolutely. That's good. I think Kevin Samuels used to call it Coochie credit. That was great. Pittsburgh Mo with the $10 super chat says, Police Bingo is top shelf creativity, Donovan. Looking forward to the show later. It makes the nights for a grinding CPA during tax season a little easier. Absolutely, man. I got you covered. I got you guys covered, man. I got you guys covered. I am bringing back Hard R Bingo. Azrael, first of his name, says Bakersfield, California. Yeah, I actually broke down in Bakersfield one summer. Got people from Brooklyn, Sacramento, Cape Coral. Good shit. D Amazing is from Cape Coral. He's 35 years old. Yeah, at D Amazing to welcome him to chat privileges, guys. Let's go ahead and add him. Fartbox TV, probably the coolest nickname, is 54 from Kansas City. Sorry about the Chiefs. Broman says, doing any more loyalty test reactions? Yes, I am. Lupaccio says, hell yeah, Hard R video police bingo makes my night. Absolutely. Black Samurai is giving us a stock report. Coochie credit is down 20% year over year. Oh, I love it. All right, I'm going to give my final comments. On this particular chick's rant here. But first, let me quickly remind you guys that if you want access to my longer form content, you got to join my Patreon, guys. The Patreon is 100% worth it. I know I've got patrons in the chat. Listen, if you are a member of my Patreon and you are in the chat, you need to tell everyone in the chat the value that you get. Less than 17 cents a day, and you get access to over 110,000 hours of exclusive content not found anywhere on the internet. Okay? You get access to all of my dating show breakdowns. We're at 51 seasons now, to be exact. I will be continuing my Love is Blind breakdown right after Hard R Police video bingo. I might actually do that before. I don't know. We'll see. You get access to all of my movie breakdowns. You get access to all the podcast versions of my past live streams and so much more. Also, guys, be sure to follow me all over social media at Donovan Sharp TSRs, where you can follow me on Instagram. But you definitely need to follow me on rumble.com/Donovan Sharp. This is where I now do my dating show breakdowns and all of the other streams that are not safe for YouTube. And by the way, guys, I am going to react to the Amaranth appearance on Fresh and Fit this past week. So you guys know how that goes, and you guys have been waiting on that. Lastly, guys, make sure you like the video. Give me a thumbs up. It is the most important metric that YouTube uses to push me up in the algorithm. And I know a lot of you guys are hitting the like button because a lot of you guys are now starting to get notifications of when I go live. That is something that has afflicted me for months, probably years, right? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like this content and you think it's helpful. And finally, guys, absolutely free, share these videos with anyone who pees standing up. Listen, I challenge you guys today. Share the video, okay? Pick out 3 of your male friends. Get the link to this video. Seriously, this is going to be a challenge. Take the link to this video and just text one of your homeboys. You don't have to preface it with anything. You don't have to say, hey, dude, check this video out. No, Take the link, copy the link to the video, just put it in a text. Okay? You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to, just put it in a text. 3 of your friends. Copy the link, text 3 of your friends. That's all I ask. Text 3 of your friends. That's it. Okay? And the reason I ask you guys this is that my channel, this is one of a few channels, a few male-centric channels that are still monetized. Okay? Fresh and Fit, they're not monetized anymore. Pearl ain't monetized anymore. A lot of people aren't monetized, but I still am. And by sharing these videos, you help support this channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. So guys, like, subscribe, and share if you would, guys. I would really, 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 really appreciate it. I'd really, really appreciate it. All right, let me get back to the, let me read the rest of your comments here. Kyle 2020 with the $2 super chat says, meant from UK, gotta stress that was a mistake. Hey, absolutely. I'm certainly not mad at that. Certainly not mad at yet. Yeah, James Hancock says, glad to have caught you, Uncle Don. Absolutely. Dr. B84 says, we've had a few Udi loyalty test videos posted in Discord that were pretty good. Okay, very good. Wesley Boyd says, if you reject a hot girl who wants to fuck you, they will probably be upset. It's kind of funny. Yeah, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. New Britain Polly says, Pearl should be allowed when all the big red pill guys do a collab. We'll see. We'll see. Sandwich Chef says, if you haven't heard her smack someone who tried to rob her. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard that someone robbed Amaranth, you know. D Amazing says, joined the premium patron as well, loving the classic content and the dating show breakdowns. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, good stuff. In the end, guys, I guess to sort of put a bow on this, men have figured out that in order to be successful with women, we have to not give a shit, okay? You have to not give a shit, okay? We figured out that the more effort we put in, the less we get in return, okay? We now know that the more persistent we are, the more likely we are going to be labeled as creeps and stalkers. If women want men to start pursuing them again and start putting in more effort, they need to reward this effort, but they're not. So we're continuing to be assholes because that's what modern women have shown us that they want from us. Women like this chick right here are constantly telling us what we should do to be successful with them, but then reward us for doing literally the opposite. Episode 5 of Love is Blind, as a matter of fact, featured a woman who chastised a guy for not validating her the entire time. Yet there she was right at the end, giving him a chance to win her over. She told you, well, you should have done XYZ, but instead he did ABC and he stuck around. Ladies, if you want men to change, if you want men to start pursuing you again, you're going to have to change. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. King Life says, Amaranth looks older in person. Yeah, I'm sure she does. I'm sure she uses all sorts of filters and whatnot. Sandwich Chef says she was foolish to be so loud about her Bitcoin fortune like she was. Yeah. Yep. That's it. That's it, man. You guys know how that is. So yes, 2 hours from now at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, I will be doing episode 17 of the Hard R podcast. Again, episode 17 of the Hard R podcast. I don't know if I want to. It's going to be. Listen, it's going to be a long. It's going to be a long day for your boy because I'm going to be doing the Hard R podcast, which also includes Hard R Bingo, and we all love us some Hard R Bingo. We love us some Hard R Bingo, and then directly after that, I will be continuing my breakdown of Love is Blind. Kiss Me has decided to come in and troll us, says, you guys will never get out of this rut. Yeah, I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you. Stupid statement. New Britain Polly says, this is probably the only red pill channel still monetized. Yeah, exactly. Dude, honestly, I do not, like, guys, I've had my channel shut down. I've gotten community strikes. Guys, I don't know why or how I'm still monetized. I really don't. Sandwich Chef, welcome to Chat Privileges. At @sandwich_chef with the emoji to welcome him to Chat Privileges. If you would, Sandwich Chef, put your age and location in the chat. I'll read a few more of your chats, and then I will sign off, and then we will be back for the Hard R podcast, which will feature Hard R Bingo. It's been a while, but I'm ready for it. Dr. B84 says he is watching from work. Absolutely. Brandon M says she looks like a randomly generated Sims character. Yeah, I guess she kind of does. Smooth NY says Gen Z is... Oh, I've already read that one. Sorry about that. Brandon M says, which Wayans brother is this white chick? Yeah, right. Yeah, again, guys, like the video. Kinchley Messidor says, F no. Lupiccio says, the last time I asked a girl out was 2009. She laughed and made fun of me to her girlfriends. Gave up after that. Yep. Ragex32 says, the girl has to think you're attractive to do this. Absolutely. 100%. Chinidu Okunimiri says, don't listen to all these ladies' advice on relationships. Gentlemen, he is 100% right. Never, ever, ever, ever take relationship advice from a woman. Ever. Never, ever, ever. Diabolical Man says, unless you're on a Love is Blind episode, I guess he's talking about the poetry. Carl Bennington, very good comment here, says, women only want hot men to approach them. Women only break the rules for alphas. It's harassment if you're ugly. Yeah, listen, this is a little bit of a spoiler on Love is Blind. And, if you've already been watching it, this won't be a spoiler. But I'm going to, here's what happened. So there was a couple that matched up, and he proposed to her, will you marry me? She said yes. When they met, okay, it was clear that she was not turned on by him. He's a little shorter. He's got kind of a receding hairline, but she really did she appeared to try to like this guy. Anyway, she has called off the engagement because she found out that he followed her on Instagram. He found out that she found out that he followed her on Instagram. And the reason two reasons why the reason this is significant is because he had airtight game. He tried to rig the game in his favor. He said, "Oh, I'm Captain Christmas." On her Instagram, she talked about how much she loved Christmas. She's a registered nurse. He kind of played into that. So he followed her on Instagram to sort of get intel on her to try to game the system, right? And so this is the reason why she's walking away. Let me explain something to you guys. She didn't call off the engagement because he followed her on Instagram. Okay? She called off the engagement for precisely what Carl Bennington just said. And here's Carl Bennington's quote. Again, he said, women only want hot men to approach them. Women only break rules for alphas. It's harassment if you're ugly. That's 100% right. Had this dude been tall, good-looking, square-jawed, beard, tattoos, she'd have been like, oh, by the way, I know you follow me on IG. How sweet of you to follow me on Instagram. That's why you know me so well. Funny how that works, right? We all knew that in the reveal, she was clearly not sexually attracted to him. Clearly. And so she had that in her hip. I believe she had that in her hip pocket. And when she left, she ran. She's like, you know what? I'm not attracted to this guy, but I think I recognize this guy. Come to find out, he did indeed follow her on Instagram. But if he were maybe 5 or 6 inches taller and maybe more good looking, maybe had a better hairline, she would not have ended the engagement. Women don't want men that they don't want approaching them. Men approach women all the time. It's just not the men that they want. That's the problem. Sorry, Ossifer says it probably has to do with many of these women thinking their well-used cooch is worth thousands of dollars in freebies and dozens or hundreds of hours in attention and validation for little return on investment. Absolutely. Kyle 2020 says modern women see honest romantic interest as creepy, period. Yeah. Dude, this is how it works. Man. Kiss Me says, I respectfully ask, what is the answer? I have no idea what you have asked. Fartbox TV says, we want women to be nice and ladylike and smile because those are the things we can work with. Absolutely. Shane Ingle says, have any of you ever heard of Coach Corey Wayne? I've watched a lot of his videos and currently reading his books. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of Coach Corey Wayne. I've never watched his videos, but I'm told that he gives pretty good advice. So I'm certainly good with that. Molten Mage Gaming says, I love when you do the Hard R podcast. My favorite is when people like Crown Prince come in and beg to differ on your opinions about the black community. Absolutely. Kiss Me says, brother, only men can change that by forcing them to change. Yeah, we're not forcing women to do anything. And you actually make a good point, Kiss Me, but let me rearrange. Let me reword that for you. Men, we can only change, and I do this in my relationship. You can't force a woman to change her behavior, but you can influence her to change her behavior. Okay? You can't tell her you can't do X, Y, and Z. But what you can do is if she does do X, Y, and Z, you pull back your commitment. I told Devin a long time ago, I don't commit to women who go to bars and clubs, who do spring break and all that good stuff. And she texts me, are you telling me I can't go to the club? I'm like, no, I'm not telling you that you can't do anything. But I'm telling you that I don't commit to women who go to bars or clubs. And this is exactly what Kiss Me's talking about. I can't physically restrain Devin from going to the club. That's stupid. That's illegal. That's kidnapping. Okay? You want a woman to be good to you because she wants to, not because you're forcing her to. It's not as much fun. Just like EPAR is not as much fun as consensual sex because she wants to have sex. Like, part of the allure of having sex is knowing the woman wants you to have sex with her. Call me crazy. Well, the same thing works in relationships. So no, we can't force women to change, but we can influence them to change. And it looks like we're influencing them for the better. Men are no longer approaching women because it's not worth it. Okay? So now we're in stage 2 of this. Women are starting to notice that men are not approaching. We see more videos like this. Why aren't men approaching? Guys don't approach me anymore. Why don't guys ask me out? Why don't guys talk to me anymore? We're telling them right here and right now why we're not talking to you anymore. Okay? And so when we get comments, and I just had the comment up, listen, men, we like fit, feminine, friendly women. If you want us to approach you, you got to be approachable. This is how you influence women to change. You can't force them. You can't force a woman to do anything she does not want to do. It does not work that way. Fartbox TV, he says, we want women to be nice and be ladylike and smile because those are the 3 things we can work with. Right. If you're nice, if you're ladylike, if you smile, if you're approachable, then we will approach you. That's it. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the Hard R podcast today. It's been a while. Kiss Me says, accountability is not a female trait, it's a male trait. Okay. Agree with that. Kat Katibi says, watching from, quote, work, a.k.a. home. There it is. Kat Katibi, dude, the youngest looking 48-year-old I think I've ever seen. Dude, Kat looks like she's 29 years old. Like, seriously, this chick looks like she is 20 years younger than she is. It's incredible. I mean, dude, aside from my gray beard, I don't look like I'm less than 3 years away from 50, but dude, Kat is just incredible. Kiss Me says, why are men scared of women so much? What's she gonna do with her slight frame? Yeah, that's Meathead Red Pill talk, Kiss Me. It's not that they're physically afraid of women. It's just that men have to become immune to rejection, And the reason why men are now really afraid of women is because women can get them hemmed up. Like I said, in the UK, they're locking dudes up for catcalling. And here in the United States, there are bylaws, city ordinances. You can't go up. This is why men don't do it anymore. So you can talk all you want to about why are men afraid of women. Dude, it sounds to me like you need to go out and approach a little bit more. Jonathan D. Cruz says, I won't take advice from women on anything anymore, including my own female family members. Abso-fucking-lutely. Love my mother, love my sisters. I will never take advice from them. Kat Katibi says, if you don't like a guy and find any reason to find any reason to rejection, if you like him, find any reason to pursue him. Good advice. Good advice. Kevin Edwards talking about Love is Blind. She was waiting to get rid of him. That's right. That's right. Frontbox TV says, that's why I said something about smiling, because they're letting you know they find you attractive when they smile at you. Absolutely. Dude, if you are at some place and a girl makes prolonged eye contact with you, she wants you to approach. Jay Wells says, women always search their man's socials. She knew the moment he began following her and kept that as a trump card. Absolutely. Absolutely. Scott B says, I like Homath's content. Have you ever reacted to his stuff? Dude, I love Homath's stuff, but I don't know, like, he does such a good job explaining everything. There's really nothing for me to add. I mean, dude, I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. You know what? Hold on, man. Maybe let me react. Dude. Listen, maybe I'll do a reaction to Homath. I don't know that I can add anything else to what he says because, dude, he explains things. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Shane Ingle says, pulling back the commitment is by far the best way I've ever heard it and makes it easier for me to stand my ground. It's in a way that doesn't control her, but at the same time keeps me in control. Absolutely. Women don't like controlling men, okay? They like men who are in control. They love men who are in control. Kat Katibi says, I like Homath, but he's a little doomer. Yeah, he is a little doomer, but guess what? He's right. He's right. He is a doomer, but, I mean, you look at the dating market, Kat, it's kind of doomed. It's kind of doomed. Kiss Me says, Donovan, do you know why women were submissive towards men in the front? Oh boy. Yeah, women were submissive to men because we were bigger and stronger than they are. But what has happened, Kiss Me, is that men, we have civilized the world so much. We have made so many advancements in engineering and technology and medicine and laws that women have no reason to be afraid of men. Like, I understand what you're saying. Why are you afraid of women? They're smaller than you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about approach anxiety. Men are not physically afraid to approach women. They know nothing's going to be done to them. No, they're afraid of getting blown out. And here's another thing, Kiss Me. A lot of women like to recruit beta white knight males around. Help, he's harassing me. And because, most people are blue pilled. Hey, lady, is he bothering you? And now you're in physical danger. So yeah, that's legit. But you got to understand, Kiss Me, this ain't 2000 BC, bruh. This is 2025. Women are not afraid of men anymore. They're just not. Dude, you can go to any YouTube channel. You see women routinely attacking men. Sorry. Listen, I agree with the primitive take, but dude, this is 2025, fam. Scott B says, I like his breakdowns in that he does offer solutions and he frames RP content in grade school in a way that is easy to understand. But I hear you, Homath can be slightly doomery. Yeah, he is. He's very doomery. He's telling the truth. Dr. B84 says Homath breaks stuff down very well, but he can be a bit too negative. Yeah, he can be, but, it is what it is. Jadawa, good to see you in here. I haven't seen you in a while. Says, regarding the question, when was the last time you approached a woman in public? I approached a woman in public when I was working in financial services. Uh-oh. What happened? Loaded Locks Gaming is in the house. Fartbox TV says, how to approach a woman, somebody make a video. Yeah, I did that. Dude, I've done that many, many times. Many times. If you, listen, Fartbox, if you become a patron, you go to my archive, I've got all kinds of stuff in there. All kinds of valuable information. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this particular podcast. For this particular podcast episode. Again, guys, in less than 2 hours, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, episode either 17 or 18 of the Hard R podcast, where we will most assuredly be playing Hard R Bingo. We all know how much fun that is. Very, very much looking forward to that. Guys, please, please, please. I need you to do two things for me. Okay? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's right. There we go. Yep, here we go. Oh, I love this. Oh, let's go rock and roll. Here we go. I love doing this stuff. No? Yes? 2 thumbs down? There we go. Making it rain. Peace. Wait, hold on. Don't we do the rock and roll? Do the rock and roll, the strobe? There we go. Yeah. Very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, man. So dude, listen, for those of you guys who have not experienced the Hard R podcast live, guys, it is a blast. It's a blast. I absolutely love doing the Hard R podcast. Fartbox EV said, I'm going to join, man. I promise. I'll be helping you do all kinds of things. I promise. Oh, he says, I like you. Pause. Absolutely. Appreciate that. Kevin Edwards says, the law is always on the side of women, and people with mental health who commit crimes get off the hook. Oops. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I wanted to do. Get off the hook rather easily. K Swifty says, I will be listening during my run. Absolutely. Sandwich Chef says, good thing your monetization is back again. I never lost monetization, but you never know. You guys know how that goes. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific for the Hard R podcast. See you guys then.